Yo, GamerNemy here. Welcome back to another character introduction guide video where I explain the archetype of every character in the game, and today we're looking at Dragunov. So I'll explain about Dragunov's strengths and weaknesses, what his specific archetype in the game is, what he's specialized to do in this game, his biggest strengths. So as to be a good character in Tekken, you must have a plethora of moves, whether it be throws, throws, punishment, good lows, and poking as well. So now you can't have all these all together. I mean, some characters do, but in general, certain characters just have a good amount of these specific tools that makes them good and unique, separating them from other characters. So for Dragunov, so first of all, let's talk about Dragunov's archetype. So Dragunov is an offense-oriented character. He is the plus frame god of this game. If you want a character that gives you plus frames for days, then Dragunov is that character for you. However, the payoff is that you don't have a ton of defense to your tools. And when I say defense, I mean counter hit moves, right? So previously we looked at Lee, we looked at Steve, and even Lars, and those characters actually have decent counter hit tools, or good counter hit tools in terms of Lee. I'm looking at you, Lee. So for Dragunov, you won't really have that part of kit to your name. So for counter hit moves or keep away, the only thing that Dragunov has in terms of defense is 1-to-1. Now this is a hit confirmable 10-string counter hit move, right? And it's a hit engager as well. That's basically all you have for defense. You have to rely on sidestepping and keep away with down forward 4. That's basically Dragunov's defensive game in Tekken 8. So as much as you're going to be a very good character at dishing out pressure and plus frames, you are going to have some trouble dealing with characters that deal pressure as well. Characters will stay in your face with very little risk. Okay, archetype aside, I'll get into that more later in the video. So in terms of punishment, of course, we talk about this with all the guides. Dragunov's punishment it's good, but just below average, maybe average at best. His outstanding punishment is actually really good compared to his standing punishment. So for 10 frames, he has 1-2 or 1-3, right? So already you can see, compared to characters like Lee or even Steve, they have better 10 frame punishment than Dragunov. For 12 frames, he has 4-1, this is really good because it gives you a ton of frame data, right? Plus 8 on hit, which is really strong. So for 12 frames, he has a good punishment, right? For 13 frames, there's a down forward 1, right? Plus 7, not that much, not that strong compared to something like Steve back 1-2. So pretty mid, right? 14 frames, he has up back 1. Then this is 15 frames now. Sorry guys, I might be mistaken on this. It's 15 frames. Has it always been 15? I swear this was 14 in Tekken 7, guys. I might be mistaken, but so I guess it's a 15 framer now. So 14 frames, he has back 4-3. So back 4-3 is a hit engager. It still has the properties of Tekken 7, wall splat, high mid. So be very careful when you use this move. Of course, it does have a mix up with back 4-2. So 14 frames, back 4-3 hit, high mid hit engager, really good. 15 frames, classic down forward 2, launching mid, of course not safe because it launches crouchers as well, right? Minus 12. Then for your long range punishment like Death Fist, you have 4-1+2. This was nerfed, does not launch anymore in Tekken 8. Right, you could get a screw in Tekken 7. So nerf, you get a stomp guaranteed here. So that's Dragunov standing with punishment, punishment in general. So not that strong, considering many other characters have better stuff, but it's kind of a balance to this character, who people might argue is very unbalanced currently in this game. So talking about his outstanding punishment, for 12 frames, he has outstanding 1. So outstanding 11 frames, he has outstanding 4. Really decent. Of course, it's like a basic outstanding 4, right? 15 damage, although his damage is a little bit low compared to other characters. Raven does 18 damage, so that's that. For 12 frame, he has really good punishment. This is where Dragunov shines. For 12 frames, he's one of the best characters in the game. He has a shoulder, which knocks down, does a ton of damage. 28 is a lot, right? At the wall was flat as well. It's a really good punisher, this, right? So another 12 frame punisher is outstanding 1-3, right? I don't know why he has both of these. Pretty redundant if you ask me. You know, they do knock down. This does more damage. I wonder why you go for the shoulder. I think they both were splat, right? Let's take him to the wall. Right, so you have basically the same moves. I don't know why he has two. For 14 frames, so he does no 14 frames, he goes to 15. He has no 13 and he has no 14. So you go from 12 to 15, which is a classic outstanding too. So that's Dragunov's punishment in general. So it's decent, it gets the job done, it's enough. The only thing bad about his punishment is long range and 10 frame, right? Other than that, you're good to go in terms of punishment. Now, he spoke about Dragunov's archetype. So one of his other archetypes, except from pressure and plus frames, is grabs. Dragunov is a grappler. He's basically a grappler, and this is based on two different factors. Firstly, his overall grab game outside of hit is like one of the best in the game, very efficient as well, and he has a grab game in hit as well. So in neutral, without hit, he has grabs for all his arms. In Tekken 8, you have to react to every arm for every throw. So he has 1+2, which is Blizzard Rush. Very oppressive grab, gives insane Oki. He has forward 1+4, which is a 1 grab, right? Then he has forward 2+3, which is a 2 grab. So already his grab game is scary. And considering the fact that he has a ton of plus frames that leave you in the opponent's face, it's very, very difficult to break all these grabs, no matter how good of a throw breaker you are. So it's pretty crazy. Then in hit is where it gets crazy. So he has a tackle, right? A mid tackle. So this tackle is unblockable in hit, right? It's unblockable. And just like his normal grabs, he has a grab game with all the arms, left, right, and both arms. So he has 1+2, which is his most damaging throw from the tackle, 45. He has 1, which takes away your white health. It takes away your chipped health. So yeah, good luck dealing with that shit. Then he has a 2 grab. What am I doing? Size 3+4 enemy. A 2 grab, which has basic damage. So he has a mix-up to a tackle which is unbreakable, right? So pretty scary. Then also his forward 2 cancel grab. So he has a forward 2 cancel grab. This becomes unblockable as well whilst in hit. So as you can see, he is a grappler as well. So pressure, grappler, and strings is his other archetype as well. So let's talk about his string game, right? So already we can see that his grab game is insane. I'll talk about his pressure game next, but first let's talk about his strings. So Dragunov is very oppressive when it comes to strings, right? He has stuff like 1-2-1, which is high. Of course, he has a mix-up with high, mid, right? I think this launches now in Tekken 8, right? So yeah, it launches. So good luck dealing with that shit, right? It's a mix-up on its own, right? Because this is safe, it leaves you at -3, meaning you can move afterwards, right? Or you can go mid if you duck and you're gonna get your ass launched, right? -13 only, not very risky. We spoke about his back 4-3 earlier, which is a hit engager, but it's a mid-high. What am I saying? Mid-high. So if you try to duck this, he now has a mid. So he's always had a mid, he has a mid from this. So it's basically a mix-up of strings again, right? It's kind of a thing you see very much with Dragunov, right? So from this is an extension as well, a 1. The 1 will give you guaranteed 12 frames. Has that been nerfed? Wait, what? Oh, 14 frames. Oh my god, it gives you back 4-3 as well. Oh my god, this is a huge buff. It's a huge buff. So in Tekken 7, it would only give you 4-1, but I just discovered this. It gives you back 4-3 guaranteed. That is insane. That is insane. So mid-high, of course. If you try to duck it, you can cancel to the tackle, which is unblockable in hit, mind you. So yeah, he has 1-1, 1-1-3, right? He has 1-2-1, counter hit, 10 hit, counter hit confirm. So yeah, strings are pretty annoying with drag as well, right? He has 343, 314. So yeah, his string pressure is actually ridiculous as well. So it ties into his archetype, which is an offense-oriented character. So now we spoke about plus frames. With plus frames, we speak about his running 2. The Russian Assault, the infamous Dragunov running 2, right? This move is ridiculous. Of course, it counter it launches as well, right? So, you know, it's scary hours against Dragunov, guys. It's scary hours, right? But of course, it can be stepped, so keep that in mind. It does not have as good tracking as it did back in Tekken 7, so not that strong, but it's still a freaking running 2, guys. It's still very, very oppressive. He has back 1 plus 2, right, plus 6, pretty strong. As his new quarter circle forward 4 hit engager leaves you at plus 7. Now this is what everyone is complaining about with Dragunov. They're calling it broken because it leaves you in crouch. And in crouch, he has a new low, which we'll talk about later. Full crouch down forward, 1-4. So it's pretty insane, right? So that's what makes Dragunov really oppressive in this game, right? He's a plus frame kind of character, right? Everything this character throws out, you're holding plus frames, right? So be very careful. It's actually really good having a counter hit character against Drag because man, he's so difficult to deal with in this game, guys. It's very oppressive. Then let's talk about his low game as well. So his lows are ridiculous in this game. Oh my god, why did they buff Drag with lows? Namco, what the hell were you thinking? So anyway, he has his infamous down 2, which is only -1 on block, right? So you lose your turn, but you can still move. It's kind of like a neutral game because you can move after this, right? You dick jab, you can sidestep launch you, right? So, but overall he loses his turn, so feel free to challenge after down 2. Or standing 4 is recommended. If you let him do his shit, bro, you're gonna be blocking the entire round, right? So try to disrespect him as much as you can from down 2. But it's a decent low at -1, leaves the opponent crouching. With quarter circle forward 4, which is 0 on hit now, which is a huge buff. On counter, it does the animation guaranteed, I think 40 damage. Yep, still the same. Launch punishable on block though, so keep that in mind. But it's 0, guys, so you can move after this, right? Huge buff, bait the punish, right? So pretty strong. He has a new hatchet kick, bro. This thing is so broken. It is so freaking good. Dragunov did not need this. For whatever reason, Namco decided to give him this. So right now, Dragunov has one of the best lows in the game, right? So like I said, you're holding these plus frames against Dragunov. It's insane. Leaves you at +7, so just keep your pressure going, right? Plus frames for days, right? You're not pressing buttons for shit. Knocks down on counter hit as well. Insane low. Very oppressive at +7. Oh my god. Dragunov mains are eating well this season. Holy shit. And then he has a snake edge. This is pretty bad. Very slow, very reactable, instant low. I don't recommend using this. Maybe it will work at low ranks against new players, but overall as a Dragunov player, don't throw this out. Then lastly, he has full crouch down forward 1-4. Another insane low they give Dragunov for whatever reason, right? Pretty insane. It's insane. +7, so you can go for stuff like this, right? They're holding plus frames for days. They're holding these plus frames. Pretty insane. Throw game as well, going to hit, right? You can cancel it into the tackle. They're guessing for their lives, right? So Dragunov, guys, is a very freaking oppressive character in this game, right? So if you love the archetype of being aggressive, being annoying with strings, having an insane grab game, good punishment, and his damage is pretty sick. As I didn't speak about his combo damage, but his damage is ridiculous in this game. It's pretty sick. Just something basic, just something very basic is this. Put them away from block, okay, pam. Look at that. 88 damage from a simple horse platform back 40, right? That's ridiculous. So for damage, you're settled. Don't worry about damage. You have everything. Dragunov players, The only thing you don't have are counter 8 tools to deal with defense. But overall, Dragunov is a top tier character right now. So again, if you're looking for someone that's oppressive, good grabs, strings, little punishment, but lacks counter 8 tools, if you want to stay in your opponent's face with hella plus frames, Dragunov is that kind of character. So anyway guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. If you made it this far, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. We're breaking down almost all the characters in the game. I'll do a Dragunov changes video soon, so look forward to that. So thank you guys, and may the frame data be ever in your favor. GG.